September 25th, 23. Again today. I pulled in Walmart 62. If they pull the cameras, maybe they can get that lady's plate, the white SUV not parked far from me, talking to that other lady. Now my car is locked. She yells out, uh, Will's gonna tell everybody she's crazy and not to listen to her. And was running her mouth. Okay? I wish I would have had a recording today. I got them the other day that they were going to have Will live for them. That he was in my home before. I taped them. They were laughing in Alliance. She actually recorded them. She actually got them saying it. And they admitted they sold the login to other towns. I went up to Dairy Queen. Some guy was inside. That agent's lying for them to get away with this. Nobody better say a word. What is going on with Will and John? You do realize, with them going into an FBI office, they confessed that Pete was a hired hitman and that they had sodium pentothal reports. You can't get sodium pentothal. It's a lethal outlaw drug. You'll actually lie under it. It states right on Google, the questioner gets what it wants, right or wrong. You'll admit to Pearl Harbor. You can't even get it. Okay? All right. Now we're going to go forward. They admitted that they were drugging me, and he was a hired hitman. They should have been arrested the first day, and I should have had the nicest conversation with an agent of, Miss Hall, we need to explain why you have all those marks. And they should have got me out of here. Okay, we're going to go back to this. They need to get a hold of the officers that verified it was the agent that told on me to that church the night before. And you need to get a hold of that agent. For one thing, there was an older white guy in a gray suit, real thin face, thinning white hair, walking around going like this at him, okay? At the apostolic, she was like this at him. I'm like, who are you? He showed up later. He told everybody he was a human trafficker. There was a human trafficker at Apostolic Church of Barberton that night too. Okay? And then, yeah. Well, that agent was telling on me. One of the human traffickers were up there. He was giving all the apostolics dirty looks. The so-called godless people. Why do they have long hair and long skirts if they're going to hire a drug cartel to have people drug, beaten, raped, and publicly humiliated and framed? Why do they have long hair and long skirts? That makes them hardened criminals. And have people raped and human trafficked. That makes them hardened criminals. They should have been arrested the first day. Okay? All right. January 20th, 23. I go out with my one friend for dinner. About 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, my phone's tapped. Okay? There's men dressed business casual around us. Rolled up dress sleeves. A lot of them. A little odd for that many men to be dressed like that in a restaurant. Okay? Tiny little restaurant. He said, I have a friend on the police department. They know about that case that agent opened with you. He said they knew about the Texas group involved in your case. And I'm like, the Kingsmen? They all looked at me. He said, is that what they call themselves? Okay. He said there was a retired judge in Texas in this big human trafficking scam. He said they went down to question him. He killed himself. There was another retired judge in another state involved. Okay? He said they found 35 people tied up in a railroad car. And the African American people, they were taking them and shooting them and throwing their bodies along the railroad tracks. He said they're going to use that case that agent opened with you to get these drug traders, human trafficking people. He said you have so much hurt and pain in your eyes. And then he drilled me till I was stuttering in front of them while they watched. I cried for 2 days. These people tortured me. And 3 men beat and raped me. And drugged and beat a confession out. Did you ever been smothered till you passed out? And then tortured and then butt raped? These people are horrifying demons of hell. In protected custody, July to September 19th, midnight to 3. They sold videos of it. My church yelled at the fake FBI agent that tortured me. He actually threatened to arrest me. And there's a good chance he's a Detroit boy, impersonating the federal officers. See, those agents opened a real case with statements, money and immunity, stole the money, and just fed me back to the drug cartel. Okay, February 14th, 23. Now, I had that conversation with my friend January 20th, 23. They're getting ready to take care of it. February 14th, 23, the sheriffs and marshals out of this area did an 800 people sweep where I had California here, Texas, Florida, Michigan, Buffalo, New York, Pennsylvania. There was a whole group of drug traders, human trafficking, bragging they were doing it in front of me and around me. Okay? And they got 800 of them. It was a nationwide drug scam. Okay? And they did it on an open FBI case, left alone. And the officers were supposed to keep an eye on me, and then that agent told them not to help me and left me in hell. Now, you do realize, with them going in there to that FBI office and confessing, like they said in Target, they could turn this around on them real quick. As if they didn't know that shower scene was photoshopped. And where they were admitting they had sodium pentothal reports, they were roofing me. And they knew it. And it's a drug confession. And they knew they were framing me. Because as if your husband at the time couldn't hire his girlfriend's dad and drug friends to drug frame the wife. And it'd be admissible and they'd fall for it. See, right after that, I was working with a client up there. And I went up to Johnny and Hartville. The big truck guys that are part of the human trafficking were in there. They came in and said, if Will did this to infiltrate our gang and to get our guys, you tell them to go ahead and give you your money because we're out of here and we're leaving. And several of them said it and walked around me. And as I walked out with my client's wife, the truck guys were sitting out there watching us. See where I went out with that guy too on January 13, 23. He said, you told me what happened to you. He said, I work in a factory, but I race horses professionally. He said, I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who deals drugs. I went to him. I said, all the Ohio drug dealers know you didn't know. This is a big drug scam from the drug dealers, human trafficking people. And then the Ohio drug dealers are trying to claim that the agent was in debt to him. And he let all these things happen to me until I could pay him off. Now, somebody's in debt to him. And I don't know who, but somebody is. And then he went on saying a bunch of stuff. Okay? My phone's tapped. Okay? Then on the 20th, I have a friend from the police department. And all those people dressed business casual. My friends that are officers said that he was probably a plant from their police department getting them information before they got ready to take care of it. See, those agents, the FBI could turn around real quick. You came in and confessed. You got all your guys. Huh? As if we're stupid enough to fall for it. Or you've been mocking us. On June 7th, FBI agent John fell for the stunt on tapes before. Oh, come on now. That FBI agent fell for stunt on tapes before. It was only a stunt. You're kidding. I mean, John actually fell for stunt on tapes before and it was only a stunt? Is that what's going on? He actually fell for it? FBI agent John fell for the stunt on tapes before? Ha 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 ha. Is that why they got away with it? 'Cause FBI agent John fell for the stunt on tapes before? Ha 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 ha. June 7th, 23. Walmart 62. 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. They sold videos of them mocking the feds. I was in Trinity Gospel on Sunday. Nobody better say a word to her. They made fun of the feds for falling for this. They saw videos of it. I thought, SWAT teams, right? November 18th, 22, Walmart 62. Eric, one of the drug dealers. Okay? All the tapes were me and not her. It was my idea to come up with it, my idea to do it, my idea to say it. For all these people turn on, they fell for it. Well, if it's only you, I can take care of it. I know it's not bad, they still fell for it. November 20, now that's Walmart 62, 2 to 6 p.m. by the hair salon. They still have it. Yeah. His confession. November 24th, 20. Now that was November 18th, 22. Walmart 62, 2 to 6 p.m. Okay. Now on November 24th, 22, Mercy Medical, the nurse taking care of me, the Lady Canton officer. We all heard that Eric make fun of us for falling for this. Nobody better say a word to her again. Said, well, you know, the agent that bullied her into saying she was lying when she wasn't. That's where you gotta think. How could he fall for it? It was done by the drug cartel. My husband at the time, his girlfriend's dad, and drug friends did it. The crackhead tapes playing with me hard. Come on. I talked to sheriffs, so like it's your local police law. Everything can be photoshopped from words to scenes. And I told him about the bruises I couldn't explain, throwing up, heart racing, migraine headaches, and da-da-da-da-da. And he's like, those amnesia drugs, the roofies? He said, you're sleepwalking for 4 to 6 hours. They could have drugged up the people to take down the towers, and they killed all those people and didn't know they did it. They control you. They bragged in the case they could control anybody with those drugs. They've had amnesia drugs since the 1960s or before. Drugs and occults used to brainwash people with them. See, on Friday, I was up on Forest Grove Drive in Akron. One of the guys from the case was up there. We interviewed her whole family a long time ago. They spoke very highly of her. They're supposed to have her saying what? As if they would have had to drug her and tell her to say that. Some guy yells out they must have roofied her. Told you they have been bragging that they had sodium pentothal and drugging me to get me to say all kinds of crazy crap since the beginning of the case. And here they were playing with me before I called the FBI. I had lost 18 pounds. Okay? And that's where that old man showed up the first month. For every idle word you tell on us, I'll turn it on you. You try to leave Dave, I'll list your child molester. I'm like, who are you? I have cops all around me. He said, you know that bruise on your leg? I'm like, yeah. He said, I use sodium pentothal on you. Now, sodium pentothal is a lethal outlaw drug you'll lie under. He had broken my house, stabbed me with a date rape drug, and told me to say this stupid lie. He said, you told me you were wearing this one nightgown, you bent over and probably once they accidentally seen your butt, and you had a life of pain because of it. Life of pain? He said, and you try to leave Dave, and I'll list you a child molester. Well, my house is legally bugged. That's like by November of 18, okay? I go home, and I'm like, Dave, I always wore the grandma nightgown, underwear, and a house coat when the grandkids were over. I know that. Leg and sweater and a house coat when the grandkids were over. I know that. I said, besides a grandma nightgown down to my knees and some laces, I've just bought everything last year. I know that. I said, years ago, I had the grandma nightgown, underwear, and a house coat on. I bent over the TV. We were video chatting. You were helping me fix the DVD player, and they only made fun of the back of my knees. Oh, grandma was on the back of your legs, varicose veins, here, oh, Papa, while I get changed. He said, I know that. What's wrong with this? Like they said, we had found out some old ass was drugging up Karen before. A week ago in Target out in Belden, some undercover officers, because are you interested in working Karen around the house? What are these people doing? We looked her up. She's an informant. It's documented the worst thing she ever did wrong was bend over improperly, and they only seen the back of her knees. And it's documented some old man was drugging her up before. See, May 25th, 21, Wendy's crew in Louisville. Other church people breaking in, drugging me and telling me to say word on molester stuff. That's not funny. My client at the time told my neighbors Jim and Brian. He heard it, and it was too dark for him. Scared him too bad. Okay, I taped Jim and Brian with their permission. 8-9-21, the apartment building for me, second closest fence, ratted out Dave. Even though Dave and I taped him, so the policeman comes from the investigation. Karen, you're good to the kids, you're good to the grandkids. You would never hurt anyone. You're good to everyone. Trust no man took that one to heart. Went ahead and taped him. My whole family spoke highly of me. Okay? They ratted out Dave. I was getting sick on his coffees and his drinks he was giving me. Okay? So, they said that he had roofied me. 4 or 5 neighbors got together, had the police over there, and did a report that I was drugged and told to say it before. Right after May 25th, 21, and when Wendy's crew in Louisville, now that's a Wednesday, okay, about 6 p.m., my phone's tapped. Dave was also dating this fat blonde girl in a blue car. My neighbors have seen her drive around the block too. I was working on the next street over in Fairlawn. Oh, that Friday, Saturday, or Sunday between 3 and 7, my car's bugged. It'll pick up 3 car parking lots away. FBI informant. Did they forget? Some of the drug dealers from Ravenna were down there. Are you crazy? You can't enter a drug confession. Well, we just found out they drugged her and told her what to say before. Bullshit. You always do. Okay? 1295 Fairlawn, little white lady, screamed at him, talked to several people in 21. November 2nd, 3rd, 21, an African American lady told everyone in Save-A-Lot. She found out they made up everything on me. Everything was them. Nobody's to say a word. Same thing, December 9th, 21, at the Oakland apartment. Maintenance man found out at 4 p.m. Someone called him that everything was drugged and photoshopped and it's just a bunch of men doing crimes down here. He talked to the Canton police and investigators. Let's see. Uh, Same day, December 9, 21, white man bald with dark eyes distributing food at the Stark County Hunger Task Force on 9th Street. There's only 4 or 5 volunteers. Can't found them. We always knew the tapes before were them and not her, so we never said a word. By Christmas of 21, investigators were in there. They said it's some guy named Eric, and they didn't know who he was yet. Okay? January 19, 22, Department of Disability on Whitmore that I was drugged and told to say it before. February 2nd, 22, Burlington Coat Factory, a Latino guy admitted that he drugged me and told me to say it before. My client I was out with, I heard that Latino guy say that he drugged you first and told you to say it. I'm like, stay out of it, I'll tell the police. Okay? We went in to Save-A-Lot. People ran in screaming it. Oh my goodness, they admitted to drugging her and telling her to say it before. On 6th Street, there was a brown house across the way. They ran out, yelled at the postman. Postman's like, we all heard it. One of the investigators from Ravenna drove a black Sebring, came down and said, I seen her out today. I found out that bastard really did drug her and tell her to say it before. Okay? All right. March 24th, 22, 3 apartment buildings for me. A tall white guy with brown hair, a little old white man was giving him hell. You framed her before? Yeah, we framed her before. Shame on you. I know, I wish we wouldn't have done it. Those people even raped her. My neighbor, Amy's like, I heard that clear in my own apartment. People were coming out of their apartment. We all heard that bastard admit to framing you. I was out in North Canton. We all heard that bastard admit to framing you. November 18th, 22, Walmart 62, 2 to 6 p.m. All the tapes before were me and not her. It was my idea to come up with it, my idea to do it, my idea to say it. For all these people turn on, they actually fall for it. Ha ha ha. Well, if it's only you, I could take care of it. I know it's that bad, and they still fell for it. 2 to 6 p.m. by the hair salon, November 18th, 22. They still have it. That was Eric. ID'd as Eric, November 24th, 22. The nurse to the Lady Canton officer at Mercy Medical in the emergency room. We all heard that Eric make fun of us for falling for this. Nobody better say a word to her again. I said, well, you know, the agent that bullied her into saying she was lying when she wasn't. June 30th, 23, Massacres Park. My phone's tapped and they sold the login. The 2 men were talking. The guy running it's real social life, real life at the party, how he made fools out of all these people and fooled them into helping out with the stun of tapes before, and they all fell for it. And he was laughing with everybody in the party how big of fools all these people are. He said, well, you know what they did to her. He said, I know. And he was laughing how he fooled all these people. They were yelling up in Hartville and they were yelling up in Akron. July 9th, 23, at Trinity Gospel, women behind me and my client admit to selling the login and making a lot of money out of it, mocking retired Judge Pete. He had no authority, he had to be in my home, he was going to go down, and they made a lot of money off of selling it, and they dared the FBI to fix it. Okay? They wouldn't dare fix it after what one of their agents did. They don't think they're stoppable. Okay, June 7th, 23, Lighthouse Tabernacle, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning by the front bathroom. Sheriff's already pulled it. Heard him talk about it. FBI agent John fell for the stunner tapes before. Oh, come on now. That FBI agent actually fell for stunner tapes before. It was only a stunt. Satanic one. Had me drug, beaten, raped, photoshopped, and stocking tapes and human trafficked out of my house. So I'd wake up with migraine headache, bruises, throwing up, heart racing, and a severe swollen personal infection seen by Altman family physicians all summer long, not knowing what's wrong with me, and they couldn't figure it out that I was being violated in my own home under amnesia drugs. They call it a stunt. You mean that FBI agent actually fell for a stunt of tapes before? You're kidding. You mean John actually fell for it? FBI agent John fell for the stunt of tapes before? Ha 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 ha. Is that why they got away with it? Because FBI agent John fell for the stunt of tapes before? Ha 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 ha. And I told you last week I went to make a tape. They followed me and they were screaming it out. Will's gonna lie and say he was in our house before. So they get away with it. Okay? I got him on tape. You can hear him in the background. People were talking lions yesterday. She taped him. She actually got him this time. They sold the login to other towns. Got him. Today, those women, my car's bugged. They were talking up in Hartville. That agent's lying for him to get away with it. It is what's going on. Will's going to say she's crazy and nobody's to believe her. They did all those crazy things to her so that no one would believe her. My car's bugged and they sold the login like they set up in Hartville. That agent's lying so they get away with it. Nobody better say a word. What is going on with John and Will that they're letting a terrorist group get away with this? Like I said, and the other people said they could turn it around on them real quick because they got their drug dealers. They let the sheriffs and marshals get them. Now they just need to get the bastards and get my money and get me out of here. I looked it up on Google. What was it, 35 or 40 something children got taken this last month out of Hawaii. They found an Ashtabula child in Texas. When these people stop thinking it's funny that these people are killing children and women, maybe they'll start turning it in. They're accessory to murder. Stop finding it funny. They're killing women and children. Stop finding it funny what they're doing. I'm going to plug this.